is new, or what kind of contribution you offer?
I kind of didn't give it yet, but so this type of literature says that the source is